Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome. My name is Ihsan, co-creator and co-founder of the Islamic Meditation Program, as well as the Islamic Renaissance Project. And I'd like to thank you for your interest in the Islamic Meditation Program. The Islamic Meditation Program has been designed with a twofold purpose. Number one, to provide you the ability to have a much more deeper and meaningful, fulfilling spiritual experience. Secondly, the Islamic Meditation Program has been designed to give you the tools to become much more effective and successful in the three primary areas of your practical life: in your health, in your relationships, as well as in your personal financial situation. Do you experience some of these common challenges? Fear, uncertainty, even doubt and disbelief about what the future may bring. Lack of confidence in knowing that you'll be okay and that your family will be okay in the future. Do you experience the effects of pain or trauma from the past? Perhaps experiences from childhood or even afterwards that have led to a limiting belief system and a low self-image, a lack of confidence, a lack of the ability to be effective in your real and practical life. And do you feel like your life might be out of balance, like you're just running to deal with the demands of dunya and not able to give your religious and spiritual life the attention that it deserves? Well, I've been there myself, and that struggle with dunya, with the problems of the world, eventually led to extreme stress that I struggled with for many, many years, which eventually led to physical symptoms in my body. My body began to become diseased, and I began to have joint pains, inflammatory problems within, as well as circulatory problems. I had also developed a very problematic belief system, a very low self-image, very low self-esteem, and really lacking confidence and ability to be myself in the world, constantly afraid in dealing with the world in a successful way. I also struggle with my religious practice. I managed to keep my 5 prayers as well as the basic obligations of Islam, but it was always a struggle. It was almost as if I was continually forcing myself to do these things, as if I was just trying to get them done and out of the way so that I could meet my obligations. But I wasn't experiencing the joy that I knew Islamic spiritual practice had to offer. I knew there had to be more to Islam. I knew there had to be a lot more to Islam. So I began searching. I began searching for answers. And ultimately, my search took me to some of the most remote corners of the earth, as well as into the presence of some of the most enlightened masters of Islamic spirituality currently alive. And what I learned, what I discovered, is that there's much more to Islam, much more to Islam than we commonly understand and what we commonly perceive and are taught. And some of the most common mistakes that we make as Muslims can truly hinder us in our spiritual and in our practical lives. I learned that we generally tend to use Islam as an identity rather than as a living spiritual path, and that doing that can actually be counter to the very purpose of Islamic spirituality. I realized that we tend to go through the motions and just to perform our religious obligations as rituals rather than truly experience them as they were meant to be experienced. And I become very clearly aware of the fact that generally as Muslims, we've become stagnant. We've stopped growing, we've stopped learning, we've stopped progressing and evolving as individuals in our personal and spiritual lives. And this is very different from the way Islam was originally practiced and understood by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, as well as the companions and their successors, the Tabi'in and Tabi'in. And that original passion, that original zeal and love and real authentic experience of spirituality within Islam is what led Islam to the greatness that it experienced. It's what led to the spread of Islam throughout the entire world. I learned that there are many benefits to a much more clear and proper understanding of Islam and Islamic spirituality. Number one, faith, confidence, certainty, unshakable belief so that nothing, no storm in the world can shake you. And no matter what's happening on the surface, to be internally at complete peace and stability within. Secondly, passion, joy, love in your spiritual practice, zeal for Islamic spirituality, drawing energy from the Islamic spiritual practices rather than forcing them. Thirdly, developing purpose, being a life that is truly centered in God consciousness, which is what Islam is all about, and having divine purpose guide you every day and in reality every moment of our lives. Being truly fulfilled, happy, and a joy within, and being able to experience life as it was meant to be experienced. And lastly, being empowered, no longer being dependent upon anything or anyone in the physical world, and truly being dependent solely on the Creator, learning to develop that authentic and real connection where we truly get what we need from Allah Azza wa Jal's divine presence and we have no fear of anything whatsoever in the physical world. There are many practical, real benefits through Islamic spirituality that can be attained through a realization of the spiritual path. We can learn to move from dis-ease to health, from a state that is based in a lack of ease, stress, and anxiety, which ultimately leads to physical disease, to vibrant and vital health, a strong and energized body. We can move from fear, uncertainty, and confusion to certainty, to confidence, to belief, and to truly being effective in our personal and spiritual lives. We can move from knowing of God to actually knowing God, to having a direct and real experience of God's divine presence in this life. We can move from confusion and lack of understanding and awareness of what's happening in our lives to purpose, to divine purpose. And we can move from poverty and lack and scarcity to prosperity, to abundance, to plenty. All of these are attainable through the authentic spiritual path. And Islam is meant to guide us to success in every area of our lives, in our spiritual life, in akhirah, as well as in our practical lives. So I've created a 4-part video series that I'd like to share with you to help reintroduce to you Islamic spirituality. Video number 1 is the 2 dimensions of Islam. What are the 2 dimensions of Islam? Most people are only aware of one, and they're missing the most important aspect of the Islamic path. In video number 2, we'll discuss the 3 stages of Islam, the 3 different levels of the Islamic spiritual path. Again, most people are generally only aware of one, and they're missing the bulk of the benefit of the Islamic spiritual path. In video number 3, we'll cover the 4 forms of Islamic meditation. And again, most people are only aware of a single form of Islamic meditation, and very few even practice that effectively. And in video number 4, we'll discuss the goal and purpose of Islam. Most people are not even aware of the true purpose of the Islamic spiritual path. We go through the Islamic religion sort of part-time and not really understanding where it's supposed to take us. In video 4, I'm going to share with you the goal and the purpose of the Islamic spiritual path. And Islam teaches us to have a direction, to have clarity in everything we do. That's why we have a qibla. Video number 4 is going to bring it all together with the very purpose of Islam. Through this video series, you're going to learn how you can avoid some of these common mistakes that almost everybody makes within the Islamic spiritual tradition, and how you can begin to live a life that is full and fulfilling, complete, whole, and balanced. How you can learn to gain personal power in your life and regain the passion and the joy and the zeal for your Islamic spiritual practice. Given the situation in the world today and what's currently happening in the globe, there has never been a more important time, a more critical and vital time to re-embrace Islamic spirituality, to truly re-understand it, to see it with fresh eyes, with a new vision, and to truly understand what Islam is actually about. We're on the threshold of a golden new age of Islamic understanding, a golden new age of Islamic wisdom, leadership, and light, an Islamic renaissance. And I look forward to sharing that journey with you. So go ahead and check your inbox, and you'll have an exclusive link to the first video in this series. Again, my name is Ihsan, and I truly look forward to working with you in the days and weeks ahead to your divine success.